Hi. If you've been to China, you probably have already experienced it yourself. But if you haven't, safety in China might still be an open question mark in your mind. I live in Shanghai, a city of 25 million people. I've left my iPhone in restaurants for like 5 times, and I always get it back. And I can choose to walk alone at 2 a.m. in the morning after get drunk, and it's quite okay. I don't even need a second thought on that. But that wasn't always the case. When I was 3 years old, I was playing outside at night. I was playing in the shadow of two cars, and a man came very close to me and started talking to me. My mother appeared and shouted him away. I didn't understand what happened until I grew a little bit older. That man was almost certainly a human trafficker. That China and the China I live in today are totally two different worlds, barely the same place. In this video, you'll know the story of how that happened and why it matters much more than just safety itself. Some people may treat safety as an independent topic from economy or quality of life, but safety isn't a byproduct of development. It's the foundation that makes development possible. Everything China has built over the past 3 decades, the infrastructure, innovation, the social mobility, none of that can happen without solving the safety baseline. When people feel safe, they move freely, they can work late, they trust strangers and build things. Safety itself, it is the infrastructure, and China built it deliberately, and here's how. The most direct factor is the government policy, and I want to be very straightforward about that rather than avoid it. So over the past 2 decades, the Chinese government has carried out ruthless and constant nationwide anti-crime campaigns. The government made it very clear there will be zero tolerance for violence. And as a result, 10,000 criminal gangs, underground networks, and groups disrupting social orders have been removed. And the results are measurable. In 2025, prosecutions for serious violent crimes, including murder, robbery, and assaults, reached 54,000, down nearly 10% year on year. It's the lowest in this century, and China's homicide rates now sits at 0.4 per 100,000 people, among the lowest in this world. These are not abstract statistics. They reflect something you immediately can feel the moment you spend time here. The absence of threat in daily life is real. And China now is among the countries with the fewest gun-related incidents globally. Only police can carry firearms, no civilian gun ownership. I know this is a debate in many countries. Self-defense, personal freedom, and the protection against overreach. I'm not here to settle down that argument. What I can tell you is how it feels to live where the debate was settled in a different way. Nobody around me is armed, and that changed everything about how public space can feel. Add security checks at major transit hubs, subway stations, train stations, airports. Sometimes it's just 10 seconds of your day. But if you scale that across an entire nation, that 10 seconds can become a safety net, covering billions of journeys every year. And of course, China has built one of the world's most extensive networks across public space. And I want to address the Western reaction directly. I know surveillance cameras feel threatening to many of you. A big brother, a government watching you all the time. But also that's not how most Chinese people are experiencing it. And it's not how I experience it. For me, the camera is like a neutral witness. If something happened, an accident, a crime, a dispute, there is always an objective evidence. The camera protects me as much as it watches me. And the practical results are also real. With AI integration, if a child goes missing in a public space, the system can track him down in just 30 minutes. And for criminals, the calculus changed everything. You are never unwatched in a public space, and that changes behaviors. And 2 quiet factors completed this transformation. First, cash disappeared. China moved to nearly total digital payments, faster than any country in this world. So when there's no physical cash to steal, an entire category of street crimes just lost their job. They lost their business model, like pickpockets, petty thieves. Digitalization just eliminated them. And second, the law changed to protect people who do the right thing. In the past, bystanders who intervened sometimes found themselves legally exposed. Legislative reforms fixed that. Now people can intervene, they can report and resist. without fear of unnecessary legal consequences. The result is a society where good behaviors is protected at every level, not just by camera or policy, but by ordinary people who feel empowered to react. Western conversations about China always focus on what people cannot do, cannot say, cannot access. That's a real conversation worth having. But there's also the kind of freedom that rarely gets discussed. The freedom of walking home alone at night, to leave your phone on a table without thinking, and let your child play outside without fear, to get drunk with friends and still get back home safely. That little girl hiding and playing between two cars, she grew up to walk alone home 2 a.m. at night. She doesn't need to worry about safety. And that's the real freedom we want to live in. It took decades of work to build. Isn't this worth understanding, regardless of what you think about anything else? Is your country safe enough to live? Drop in the comments. I'll read everyone. And please subscribe if you like this video.